Well, good morning, everyone, and happy first working day of the week. Good morning, Jumai.
Good morning, Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and of course it's great to be here, and I am excited to be here. And to each and every one of you out there, good morning. I am Jumai Manson, and it's great to be here on Global Morning, doing this back to back with my co-host with the red tie, black suit, glasses, nice haircut, Ramsey Enoch Agbo. It's great to be here with you this morning, doing this side by side with you.
Well, I think this is it a single encomium or double encomium? That deserves a check anyway.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You get to know later or not whether the check arrived because the check is on its way.
Okay.
It's not all about releasing the check, but it's the arrival of the check.
I like the sound. I like the sound of the fact that there is check.
Yeah. There is a check, but then when is it? Probably the check will arrive today. Yeah, the check will arrive today.
Fantastic.
It will arrive today before close of work. Yeah.
Before close of work.
Yeah, it will.
In the voice of the individual behind the MCR that we never see, Master Control Room, I want to give a shout out to my amazing colleague Mujahid. He said fantabulous this morning. I was like, what? Mujahid! Nobody sees him, but of course, MJ. Whatever happens on Global Morning, whatever you see when it comes to the visuals, the sound, Mujahid is behind that MCR. And
Mujahid and his other colleagues.
And his other colleagues.
Yes.
But this morning is Mujahid, and of course the cameraman, Ezekiel. I just want to give a special shout out to them because no one sees them. But when you hear amazing sound, you see, Ezekiel is just telling me to point at this camera. When you hear amazing sound, when you see all our visuals in check, these are the guys behind it, the engineering department, and of course, the camera unit, amazing individuals. I just want to celebrate them this morning because they do fantastic work, really, I must say.
Thank you for celebrating them. I know. My MD will always say, television is a teamwork. She will just whisper it.
Yes,
television is a teamwork. When you want to feel like, this, she'll say television is a teamwork, and that's exactly what you have. Sometimes you don't see people behind. You don't see the MD come to say, but then we have a lot of people who are behind the success of whatever we do on global television. Yes. The final output that you see on the screen have a lot of people contributing to it. Yes. And to all global TV team, I want to say kudos. We're moving. Now, can we walk to the north a little bit and talk about the security situation? Yes, I was reading the news this morning and I saw where someone repented, all right, because Troop of Operation Hardin K actually recorded another breakthrough. And of course, what is the breakthrough all about? I know that's what a lot of Nigerians would be waiting to hear. And this is the breakthrough. It's actually a breakthrough because this is one man down. And how did it really happen? It so happened that someone surrendered. It's a breakthrough because a senior Islamic, that is ISIS, is not just an ISIS member, province financier, all right, repented or surrendered. I won't say repented yet, but he surrendered, all right. He's a finance operative and alongside 46 other terrorists and their family members in Borno State. So when I saw 46 others and their family, I was thinking, all right, this man is a terrorist financier for a province. That is ISIS operating financier for a province. When you say province, you're not just talking about a zone, you're not just talking about a region, you're talking about a province here. And now that he has repented, what's next? That's the question we should be asking. Then on repenting, 46 others also surrendered. So let me know, why am I always using the word repented? He surrendered to the military. Probably he was overpowered or he knew something was about coming on him, and he surrendered alongside 46 others and his family members. So when I saw his family members, I was like, is it a family business?
Well, at this moment, I'm short of words. I do not know what to believe. I do not know what to explain when it comes to this particular issue. But for me, it shows that by the grace of God, these individuals they understand the detriment in which they have caused in Nigeria, the chaos they have caused, lives that have gone because of their unnecessary activities. And well, for him to come out and repent, and he's a province, that means he's heading.
He has surrendered. We don't know if he has repented.
Okay, he has surrendered. Well, and his family members, that means his family members actually know that he's into this, to surrender with him. Interesting.
Yeah, we've actually seen cases where parents have been arrested for a crime committed by their wards or maybe their family members. Probably that's the reason they are repenting. But then beyond the repentance or the surrendering, I think there is still more to it. These persons have been terror to not just Nigeria alone. We're talking about ISIS here, West Africa. So as it is, these people need to be known. They need to be brought to book.
Yes.
Nigerians need to see them so that they can be avoided. There is a saying that an old bird never forgets how it cries. But then that's why a lot of Nigerians are very skeptical when it comes to issue of reintegrating these terrorists into the society.
Sure.
The last judgment that was passed concerning the 3 arrested concerning the Orire kidnapping, the abduction of the school children and teachers, we saw how some persons are saying, including ICPC, saying, well, that judgment, something needs to be done about it, because some persons are feeling like as soon as these people are arrested, it should be maximum punishment. But then what is the world order saying? Some things could be an impediment to some judgment that would have come. But then, if they are being sentenced to life imprisonment, how is it going to be? Is it with hard labor? Would they repent, or very soon would they be brought out and, of course, said they've repented or something?
Well, their members will
go and do
havoc and say they want them out of this.
It's so shocking when you see these people given conditions when they kidnap people. We want so number of bikes. We want cows. We want this person released from the security operatives custody and all of that. So sometimes you feel like, well, I don't know. I saw online this morning where Sheikh Gumi was saying, well, what's happened to the Niger Deltans, the issue of negotiation and of course resettling them, rehabilitating them and all of that should also happen to Boko Haram. And I was like, well, have they known who the Boko Harams are?
And the difference between the individuals, I'm not holding brief for individuals in Niger Delta, they did not come out to kill people, to bomb issues. They didn't come out to bomb places. They didn't come out to kidnap, slaughter individuals, kidnap school children. I'm not holding brief because I was once married to someone from Nigeria. I'm not holding brief. But the truth of the matter, they did not create so much havoc as what we see with these individuals in the northern part, of course, and the widespread in which we see now. The militants in Niger Delta were fighting because of oil. They wanted that particular balance within what they were bringing out and what they were getting. They wanted that revenue generated in their land. And they did not come out to kill individuals, kidnap individuals, face the military with, they didn't have sophisticated arms like how these individuals are. There were no financiers behind them. They only had people behind whatever they believed in. So there's a very wide difference when you talk about the Niger Delta militants and you talk about these individuals of Boko Haram. So there's no comparison whatsoever. And these individuals came, as long as there was a negotiation between them and the government, they came and everyone is at rest. So there's a big difference. So let's not even compare the two.
Some of them were sent abroad for trainings and all of that because they were actually fighting for their livelihood.
For their livelihood, they're right.
But what surprises me now is the fact that I don't even know what these Boko Haram terrorists are looking for.
Exactly.
As some people said, it's an agenda. I don't know what agenda. And it's so bad. It's so bad that someone was saying I interviewed someone and the person was saying it is not even all about education or something. I don't know, but if there is anything they want, if they have been marginalized in any way, they should let the federal government know, and at that point there could be negotiation. But the issue of taking life, unaliving people,
Exactly.
destroying properties that Nigerians taxpayers' money, all right, has put in place is not the best
There's
way
no comparison
to go. There is no
whatsoever.
comparison. But notwithstanding, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see what will happen afterwards, because the man actually surrendered some weapons and of course ammunitions that he had. He's a financier, but I wonder what he was doing with ammunitions. Does it also supply them ammunitions? And of course we also talked about cash motorcycle. These guys go on motorcycle, and that's why they come to strike at night, when people are sleeping, abducting people at night. This is so
causing havoc, shootings periodically, killing individuals, elderly people, children, women, men, no remorse whatsoever. And you want to compare them with no, come on.
Well,
come on.
I think we need to wait because interrogations are going on. Let's see what will be the end of the interrogation. Probably he would be able to provide some intelligent information, because if he provides intelligence information for ongoing operation, it will be good, because as a matter of fact, the development of the nation is most important for now. All right, everyone, we'll take a quick break. After this break, we'll give you a tip to what you may likely want to take this morning for breakfast. Coming up next is Taste and Texture on Global Morning.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Taste and Texture. I am your chef for today, Saadatu Garba. Today we're going to prepare an easy Nigerian delicacy, and we will be breaking down the entire process. In this episode of the program, we will be preparing oatmeal with fruits. Oatmeal is always a delicious and simple breakfast option. This one is a recipe that is filling, delicious and nutritious, especially when taken with fruits. Also, this breakfast oatmeal can be made in under 5 minutes by anyone. In addition to the speed and ease of making it, it is also fun to make. Main supplies: raw oats, milk, sugar or honey, water, banana, coconut chips, apple, cashew nuts. Step 1. Place a clean pot on the stove and add enough water to cook the oats. Step 2. Bring your water to a boil and add the oats while stirring gently to avoid lumps and burning. Add more water if the oats is too thick to the consistency you prefer. Step 3. When your oats is cooked, add honey or sugar, then add your milk and mix properly. Step 4. Dish your prepared oats into a bowl. Step 5. Dice your apple into small bits. Peel and slice your bananas, then add into your bowl of oats. That's it. Your oatmeal breakfast is done and ready for consumption. Now, it's all yours to enjoy. That's it on today's episode of the program Taste and Texture. Hope you will try this recipe in your various homes and hope you enjoyed the program. Join me same time next week for another episode of the program. I am Saadatu Garba. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you on the next exciting meal.
All right, you're welcome back from that delicious, mouth-watering, tasty, yummy-licious oats pottage that has to do with a little bit of nuts, a little bit of banana, apples, coconut flakes, my favorite by the way, and drizzle of milk. I would have loved that they drizzled milk on it, and although the best way to make oatmeal is when you add a little bit of milk and it boils with the water, and then you add the oats and stir it, and it gives it that really rich taste. The texture takes it to a whole new level. Fantastic. And I'm sure you enjoyed that. Please try it out. It's filling, it's nutritious, it has a lot of fibers because of the fruits that you see, the nuts, and it is yummy-licious. I'm sure my co-host Ramsey will not try that because you know how he is with food. But to all the foodies out there, please try it out. And at this point,
To all the foodies or to all my colleagues out there.
my colleagues, I don't understand them. I don't know.
No,
you know, when
to
it
all
comes,
my
they are
foodie
good. They are
colleagues.
good with eba, pounded yam. They don't want to innovate.
But
try
a foodie
something
is a
different.
foodie.
A foodie is a foodie, but you're different. You prefer the pounded yam, the egusi soup. You can eat that in the morning.
So where will I eat it through? And where will it be going to?
Your stomach, of course.
Through where?
Your mouth.
Are you serious now?
Yes.
I don't see you being serious saying that.
But anyway, please give it a try. I'm actually going to beg my co-host Ramsey to give it a try, which I doubt, by the way, but it's all good. Next is the inspirational segment where we get inspired with heart to heart. And of course, my co-host Ramsey Enoch Agbo is definitely going to put us through on heart to heart inspirational. Stay tuned.
Hello everyone, it's a beautiful day right here and I'm so excited to come on your way this beautiful morning. How did you wake up? Did you wake up loving or you woke up hating? Alright, I want us to look at a very particular subject for you this morning. You can follow us on all our social media platforms now showing on your screen so that you can be part of every inspirational. It's now time for us to talk heart to heart. Yes, my name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Let's look at the subject of love this morning. Yes, love. What is love? What do you think about love? This is what love does. In case you don't know, love strengthening is a strength that makes life worth living during hardship. One of the things that keeps you going during hardship is love. And that is the power of love. It cannot be underestimated any time, any day. But then if you underrate love, then you are in for a long thing. But then it's so exciting that we are talking heart to heart today, so we can at least get one or two tips on how love can be the strength that will make your life worth living during hardship, during disappointment, during betrayal. You know, when the economy is saying no, the only thing that said yes is love. Let's just have a little talk about the subject of love of this beautiful day. Life is a journey, as a matter of fact, and it is a journey that is filled with seasons. There are moments of joy, moments of celebration, moments of success, and moments of laughter. But there are also moments of pain, like I said when we were getting started, moments of disappointment, moments of uncertainty, and of course struggle, which is always part of life, like some persons will tell you. But then at some point, every one of us will face hardship. It may come in the form of financial difficulty. It may come in the form of the loss of a loved one, unemployment, whatever you want to call it, illness, betrayal, or broken dreams, broken heart, a shattered vision. But then at every point in time in your life when you're being faced with this difficulty, you should know that there is something that strengthens you during hardship in life. So during such times, what do you have to do? Let me tell you that many people begin to ask questions. Is life still worth living because of what they are going through? At any moment in your life, when you start asking such questions as, is life still worth living? It means you are trying to derail. But the answer is yes. Anytime, any day, no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, no matter what your parents are saying, no matter what the economy is saying, no matter the betrayal, no matter the loss, no matter the wasteful, no matter the struggle, life is still worth living at any time, any day. You don't need to think suicide at any point in your life. I've seen people think about negative things, go to do evil things because they feel life is not worth living anymore. Anytime, any day, I want to assure you that life is worth living no matter the circumstance. I don't know what you're going through this beautiful day. I call it a beautiful day because you need to know that life is beautiful and life is worth living. So you never need to ask questions such as, if life is worth living, life of course is worth living. And one of the greatest reasons life remains worth living is love. Oh my God. Love is more than an emotion. It's not what you think. Love is beyond what you think it is. Love is beyond emotions. It is a force that gives us the courage to rise after fall. Love reminds us that we are not alone. We are not alone. There is someone loving you more than the way your mother can love you. There is someone who cares about you more than the way your friends cares about you. And that person wants you to live. That personality wants you to be successful in life. So never you think about taking your life for any reason because you feel things are difficult. Even when the road is difficult, what do? You keep going. When everything else seems to fail, genuine love continues to give you hope. It depends on the arms of whoever you end. It depends on whoever is around you. And that's the reason I said all the time, you need to be careful about your own association. Because association brings assimilation. What are you giving your ears to every time? What are you giving your heart to? What are you always thinking about? I want you to think about a child learning to work. The child falls repeatedly. So many times you see the child trying to walk, the child will fall. The mother will pick the child up again, or the child will start up again. What do you need to do like a child? You need to keep trying, because loving parents are encouraging every step that you take. The love gives the child confidence in the same way. Oh, you can walk again. The child falls, the parents pick the child up, and that gives the strength to continue when lives knock us down, whether you like it or not. There will be times no one in as much as you have blood in you, if you are flesh and blood, there will be times that something will knock you down. There are times that you'll be weighed down. There are times that situations will want to suggest something negative to you, but then you need to know that there is love. And first of all, there is no way love can work for you from any other person if you don't love yourself first. First love should be self-love. Yeah, first love should be first self-love. All right, first love. When anyone talk about first love, the only thing that comes to my mind is self-love. So first love should be self-love. You need to love yourself first before any other person can show you love, before you can know the value of love and what love can bring to the table, what love can do for you. First of all, you need to love yourself, or else every other proclamation of love will not mean anything to you. So I want you to know this morning that, of course, we are in a world where so many things are happening. And as a matter of fact, let me intimate you this morning that hardship has a way of revealing what truly, of course, is around you. And I want you to know that love is something that money cannot buy. Because hardship has a way of revealing what truly matters. Sometimes money may not even matter, because that money could disappear anytime. Positions may change. Where you are today is another person's prayer point. So you need to make mark wherever you are today, in any position where you are, because that position is going to change. You are going to live there someday. That's why most times when you hear me talk, I talk about politicians who come into office and they want to live as if well, they are the top of the world. That's all. There is nothing that matters to them anymore. Treat people anyhow. But then one day you will leave that position, and one day you may even leave the earth. We've seen a lot of big men, a lot of very wealthy people that have died and gone. Where are they today? What about all the wealth they've accumulated from themselves without showing people love by sharing what they have? Friends may come and go, but the love of family, genuine friends, caring neighbors, and compassionate strangers can keep a person alive emotionally and mentally. I want you to know that history is filled with stories of people who survive impossible situations because someone believed in them. But first of all, you need to believe in yourself. before anyone believes in you. A word of encouragement, a helping hand, or simply someone saying, I am here for you. I am always here for you. You need to know that there is always someone who is there for you. And of course, knowing that there is always someone who cares for you. I don't like it when people say, nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. No! There are people who loves you. There are people who like you. It is not people who flaunt around you to say I love you, to say I like you hypocritically, that really love you. There are people who loves you from a distance, people who are praying for you, people who want you to succeed in life, people who want you to live destiny, people who want you to matter in your business. They want you to grow in your workplace. They want your career to expand and you achieve success. So anytime in a day, you need to know that there are people who believes in you. Sometimes love is not about solving every problem that you have. Sometimes it is simply about standing beside someone until the storm passes. Storms don't last always. Storms will come. It could even come from people you least expect. But then you need to know that storms don't last always. There are people who are wishing you good. The people who wish you good are more than the people who wish you bad. In case you don't know, I want you to know these. And of course, we're talking about love today. And love, I want to tell you, that is also a teacher that teaches us resilience. And of course, when we love, we find reasons to fight for tomorrow. Parents endure hardship because of the love they have for their children. Husbands and wives sacrifice. Neighbors sacrifice. Colleagues in the office sacrifice so many things to make sure there is success all around. There is success with everybody in the establishment, in the neighborhood, in the house, because that is what love is all about. But if you don't give love, don't expect love in return. If you are that person that always hates people, you always talk about people, you talk people down, people don't mean anything to you, you look at people and you just see them as if they don't mean anything because you are wealthy, or probably because you feel you are above them. I want you to know that love is going to be far away from you because you are not a giver of love. You don't show love, so don't expect to get love in return. And that's the truth about life, okay? But then our friends support each other through difficult seasons. Why? Because love refuses to abandon people in their weakest moment. When anyone is weak, help the person to be strong. When anyone is poor, help the person to be rich. That is what life is all about, because one day you would also have time when you will need people in your life to show you love. But love is not only about receiving. In case a lot of people don't know, love is not all about receiving. It is also about giving. There is a saying that blessed is the hand that giveth and the hand that taketh. Let me give you an instance. If you are receiving from someone, your hand is always under, the person's hand is always at the top. And what does it mean? It means that person will always be above you. So whether little, whether small, whether it's even a kindness, try to show someone love. Try to give someone something. All right, let your hand be at the top once in a time. Even if it is not all the time, at least once upon a time, let your hand be at the top, meaning you're the one giving and the person receiving's hand is under. Let not your hand always be under. Don't always think of what you will get, always think of what you will give in form of love. As a matter of fact, let me just round up that the subject of love is not something that we can talk about in a very short time. So many in my mind to talk about, but then you may not have millions of naira to change someone's life, all right, but yet a smile, a phone call, a visit, a kind word, a sincere prayer. In your closet, there are people praying for you all the time that you don't even know. They're interceding for you. They want you to be good. That organization where you are working, there is somebody praying that organization will go up all the time. In your family, the situation between you and your husband, some people don't even know, but they are seeing it from a far distance and they are praying for you to be successful in that marriage, for God to mend that marriage and make it a very, very flourishing. Sometimes Sharing a meal can become the miracle someone desperately needs. Never underestimate the power of kindness, the power of love. What seems small to you may be the reason another person decides not to give up. So, there is another important truth about love. We must also learn to love ourselves. Like I said, self-love is not selfishness. It means believing that your life has value even when circumstances suggest otherwise. It means you're loving yourself. You know, I am with value. I am a good project going somewhere to happen. That business, I am going to grow in that business. I'm going to own estate in FCT, in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, wherever you want. So just have that self-love. Believe in yourself, first of all, before anyone believes in you. It means refusing to define yourself by your failure. Every setback is temporary. Every dark night eventually gives away to the morning. Well, thank you everyone for being part of Heart to Heart today. I believe someone has been inspired, even if it is small. At least love yourself, show love, and know that there is something that will always strengthen you in times of weakness, disappointment, struggling, and difficulty. Thank you for being part of Heart to Heart today. Have a beautiful day. I see you being successful. I see you being a great man, a great woman. All right, see you on the other side of success. Bye bye for now.
All right, you're welcome back from that Heart to Heart inspirational with my amazing co-host Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Hope you're well inspired on how to love yourself as an individual, show love, give love. You shouldn't be only at the receiving end, but it's verse of this. Love, they say, is the giver of light and, of course, warmth. And at about this point is a newspaper review segment, and we're going to start with the first paper of the day, and we're moving, or will I say, we're tilting towards the first paper, which is the Daily Sun. And beside the nameplate of the Daily Sun, it says here, Enugu emerges Nigeria's fastest improving state. Inamani Nas Kakos hail Governor Mba. And below that, which is the star story, it says here, governors push for state police takeoff. And we have three riders there, which is on page 6 again from the above headline. It says, get State House Assembly speakers to stand by for immediate concurrence. And the second rider says, express worry over effect of NAS annual break electioneering. And the third says, hope to get quick presidential assent. And of course, talking about state police there. And on page 25, it says, Tracks raises alarm as FG budget 962.83 billion naira for SUVs empowerment. And the rider says allocation exceeds combined budget of 7 key ministries. And on page 2 on the Daily Sun, it says, move fast as AI or miss out, IMF tells Africa. And the writer says, warns delay could cause region 4% GDP boost. And on page 2 again, it says, AMCON puts Intel up for sale, strategic investors. And the writer says 165 billion naira recovered from debtors in HI. And on page 26, it says budget, FG moves to appease NAS members. The writer says approves implementation of 1 billion naira for each senator, 500 million naira for rep. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Daily Sun. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the major issues making rounds. Next, we have the Daily Trust. Over to you, Ramsey.
Let's quickly look at the Daily Trust newspaper this morning and see the headlines that we have there. On the Daily Trust newspaper, we have this headline which says Islamic board to spend 18 billion naira on staff. Soldiers selling uniforms to terrorists arrested. Votes will count. INEC vows as voter registration ends. A flooding. Where is local government's 82 billion naira ecological fund? That's a question on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. 4 civilian JTF personnel killed in Castina. NDLEA intercept a 10 billion naira drug at Lagos port. Ex-defense spokesman demands 250,000 naira salary for soldiers. And of course, we have other headlines now. The big story which says how gunmen abducted KB High Court. All right, how gunmen abducted KB High Court. And those are the headlines for you this morning on the Daily Trust newspaper as we move to the Punch.
All right, now the Punch newspaper giving us some very punchy headlines on the Punch, and it says here, besides the nameplate, it says opposition spills over candidate to challenge Tinubu, and that read you will find on page 32 on the Punch. And of course, the Star story says FG budgets 1 trillion naira for empowerment, SUVs amid rising borrowing pressure, and that's on page 2. And 3 riders on that news. It says the first one says allocation exceeds combined budgets of 7 key federal ministries. Next says only 70 of 2,579 empowerment projects have identified locations, and that's from Tracker. And the next one says economics question spending priorities, demand accountability. And on page 32 on the Punch, it says APC drafts Omosori into 276 members Osun governor campaign cancel. And on page 80 it says FG raises varsity workers hazard allowances to 486,000 naira. And below that on page 6 it says fake agency scandal, reps grill accountant general today. And on page 32 it says hoodlums invade Osun INEC office, cut away PVCs. I thought we're done with that now, but well, it is what it is. And on page 8 it says Obasanjo's role in Obi Kwakwaso ticket sparks row. And basically those are all the major headlines on the Punch newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy to avoid fake news. Next is the New Telegraph.
All right, let's quickly look at the New Telegraph for you this morning and see what we have right there. On the New Telegraph, we have this headline above the nameplate which says asset recovery. AMCON position Intel for strategic growth, world-class investors. And this one says Nigerians are paying over 300% interest on digital loan apps. The big story says 2027 campaign DG, Yari, Almakura, Oshomole, Uzodinma top contenders as APC compiles PCC list. If you want to know what the PCC list is all about, pick a copy of that. Some riders to that story: national political reach, ability to mobilize resources, public image, main consideration. All right, this is coming from an insider. As official campaign season commence next month, we already rolled out the timetable for you. And the last rider says Pabio Wuni, Imo governor, lead APC campaign council for Osun Guba poll. And now this one says how senior ISWAP finance operative, 46 others surrendered to troop. U.S. lawmaker asks federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu or face aid cuts. All right. And of course, this is more like a study that is links He said study links brief screen break to improve attention in ADHD. Details of that you can find on page 30. And of course, those are the headlines for you this morning on the New Telegraph as we move to the next point of call, which is The Guardian.
All right, now the Guardian newspaper, not so much headlines on the Guardian newspaper, but it says here below the nameplate, it says electricity subsidy hits 1.78 trillion naira as gas debt nears 1 trillion naira, and that's on page 3. On page 3, again, it says Oye 6 CBN intervention says Nigerians paying over 300% interest on digital loan apps. And on page 3, it says Budget Office explains PFIPC's appropriation as BMO denies Buhari link to scandal. And that's on page 6. And the Star story reads how weak budgeting culture aids graft, poverty goes allocations. And on page 7 it says Osun 2026, Accord Party raises alarm over arrest persecution. And on page 5 it says CPPE dismisses impact of US 12.5% tariff on Nigeria. And on page 9 it says gunmen abduct Kemi High Court judge, kill 3 in Benue. And did I hear someone say Benue again? And on page 6, it says voter registration closes amid concerns over access, election credibility. And on page 9, it says military rescues 48 abductees in Zamfara's ISWAP finance chief surrenders in Borno. And of course, that's below that, it says here, Olodo uprising. Sanwo-Olu urges youths not to glorify ignorance, indifference, and of course that's on page 7. And basically those are all the major headlines on the Guardian newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed with the issues making rounds to avoid fake news. Next is the Daily Times.
All right, let's quickly flip through the Daily Times for you as to bring you some of the headlines. Ayedatiwa is Nigeria's rule of law ambassador. This is coming from Ondo AG. PSV 2028, the payments revolution set to transform Nigeria. Then we also have this one, which is the major headline. Governance is the kicker. Tinubu no longer in charge. XSGF. What does that mean? Tinubu no longer in charge, as it has to do with governance. Then one rider to that story. And the writer says Northern Cabal caged him in Abuja. Northern Cabal caged him in Abuja. All right. Who are the Northern Cabals? Check it out for yourself. Hard drugs, substance abuse, fueling terrorism, kidnapping, police and NDLEA warns. Okay, no wonder there have been so much arrest of drug peddlers. Finally, from the Daily Times newspaper this morning, Serap sues NNPCL over 211 trillion naira oil funds. Of course, this has been in the media space for a while. Serap is now coming up. We remember what happened at the Senate, Oshimole and the rest, the drama and everything. But now Serap is taking it upon themselves to say, well, the right thing needs to be done. Let's drag NNPCL to court. But then how is it really going to end? Those are the questions Nigerians are asking this morning. And those are the headlines for you on the Daily Times newspaper this morning. Moving away from the Daily Times, let's go to the Hope newspaper.
All right, now the Hope newspaper, and of course the foreign segment on page 3 of the Hope. It says U.S. halts Iran strikes as Trump weighs options, and we have two riders there. It says military chiefs warn of shrinking weapons stockpile amid prolonged conflict. And the next one says Tehran also suspends retaliatory attack as diplomats push for ceasefire deal. And on page 3, it says here, Ayedatiwa deserves the national honor for straightening rule of law. And that's from Ondo AG. It says investment in judiciary boosts democracy economy. And the star read on the Hope, and it's still on page 3, it says, ISWAP Finance Chief surrenders to troops in Borno. And of course, that particular headline has been making rounds since we started the newspaper review segment. And we have two riders there. It says, military recovers AK-47 ammunition as terrorist defects with 2 children. Okay. 46 terrorist family members surrender amid pressure on insurgent stronghold. And on page 7 on the Hope, it says Ondo Ametokun tightens forest security, cuts kidnapping. Okay. And on page 4 and 5, it says bandits abduct Kebbi High Court judge. Oh gosh. And below that, it says Nigeria loses 4 million tons of food yearly. And the writer says poor storage costs economy up to 5 trillion naira annually. And that's on page 3. And on page 4 and 5, it says NDLEA busts 10 billion naira drug syndicate, arrests kingpin, recovers 401 rounds of ammunition, seizes UK-bound tramadol. And that's, like I mentioned, pages 4 and 5. And on page 2, it says APC unveils national campaign cancel for Osun governorship poll. And those are all the major headlines on the Hope newspaper. Next, we have the Business Day.
All right. Unfortunately, because of our time, we won't be able to take Business Day anymore. It's now time for us to move to the next segment of Global Morning. But we'd like to inform you that Global Television does not have editorial contribution to any of these headlines. It's entirely that of the various newspaper houses and their editors. We'll take a quick break. After this break, Ogochukwu Mobuno returns with Social Buzz. Stay with us.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
At Erojim Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear, all crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Aerogym shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091 264.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues making the rounds on social media. Today we're looking at trafficked Nigerian girl dies after returning from Cotonou ordeal. A tragic case of human trafficking has sparked fresh outrage after a young Nigerian woman identified as Sewuse died following her return from Cotonou, Benin Republic, where she was allegedly trafficked into prostitution. Sewuse passed away on Friday, July 24, 2026, in Benue State after being brought back home. Activist Zege Okwande, who has been leading efforts to rescue trafficked girls from Benue State, confirmed the development and vowed that those responsible would be brought to justice. According to him, investigations have already uncovered key information, and the suspected traffickers will face the full weight of the law after the victim is laid to rest. The heartbreaking incident has renewed calls for tougher actions against human trafficking network and greater protection for vulnerable young women. Let's take a look at that video again and listen to the voice of this woman before she died. All right, so that's a tragic incident. It's horrible to hear, to see. You know, I really feel bad. A lot of times we get to see people being trafficked, and the first question that comes to my mind: if that person is not a minor, why did you go? What exactly were you promised? What exactly were you told that you're going to do out there? And your parents, are they aware? Because no parents want their child to be trafficked. Are they aware? But then again, with the economic hardship, a lot of parents will even send you out, tell you, go and work for yourself, go and do something for yourself. It's really very bad. But let's take a look at some comments from social media before we start talking about this properly. And the first comment is coming from Big Dora. And Big Dora says, did they force her? I'm from Benue State. Most of those girls know that they are taking them to other countries. They know what they are taking them to other countries for, but they just want to get rich without working hard. People will go abandon school and run away with a total stranger without minding how their family will feel. All right, the next one is coming from Press H. Dave. And Press says, that's what they are doing to our young girls here in Cotonou. They'll tell them they are coming to work for white men. On getting there, they will turn them into prostitution. I'm Nigerian-based Benin Republic, Cotonou. I see a lot of them. They do buy market from me. I just feel for them always. All right, last comment coming from Igbo Boy GH, and Igbo Boy says, this is the sad reality of some Nigerian girls living in Cotonou. When you go to a street called Johnny K, you see most of them with their passport being taken away from them by their madam. So heartbreaking. All right, so thank you everyone for your contribution to today's topic. Thank you for dropping your contribution. I'm not alone today in the studio. I have with me a Benue man, Ramsey Agbo. Good morning, Ramsey.
Yes, good morning, Ogochukwu Mobana. It's really good to be with you on Global Morning's edition of
social boss. All right, so we're talking about human trafficking, and some of the comments feel like these girls really know what they are going out there to do, and because they are lazy, which is another part to human trafficking. You know, when you are lazy, you're not asking the right questions. They just pick you up and tell you are going to work for a white man. You have no idea of who this person is. And Cotonou, please, Cotonou is just beside us here. Like when you cross the borders, you're already in Cotonou. When you go through Lagos, a lot of persons go through buses, you know, so you can see how very it's not even that far. So why are people going to Cotonou? I understand that even this trafficking, they can take you to Italy. There was one time it was all trending that Edo girls no longer want to work. They traffic them to Italy and they become prostitutes, and some of them died even along the road before they get there to Italy. What exactly do you think makes these girls go out there for traffic? I mean, for this kind of job?
Number one, illiteracy. Number two, exposure.
Okay.
Number three, poverty. Number four, greed. I'm going to break it down one after the other.
All right.
First of all, some of these girls are from interior villages, and even coming to the city center in Benue State, they would be very, very excited. You bring them. So some of them even do certain things, get money just to come to the city center of the state to see how the state is. How much more of someone being promised for anything that's there? Like some persons will tell you, whatever it will cost us to japa. Yes, that's what some persons will tell you. They will think, well, if I go out, no matter what I'm doing, it's going to be better than remaining in this village. And it's a problem. Secondly, some friends' influence. Maybe someone has gone before and the person came back home shining and all of that, and tell others, please, if you have the opportunity anytime, if anyone wants to cross you, just go. And some, like you said, is the parents. You know, the parents will want their children, because of poverty, will want their children to go do these things. Even in FCT here, during evangelism, you hear people tell you things like, you go to some brothels, you know, when you're preaching around brothels, you see some persons telling you they really don't want to do this. Their auntie came back home, brought them here, they can't even go back home. They are being threatened of this and this. Their auntie collects the money from them. At the end of the day, they can't even, you know, so many things. So NAPTIP have a lot to do, a whole lot to do. Orientation first. Don't wait until these people are being trafficked before we start looking for the solution. It is better to try as much as possible to ensure that people get the necessary orientation. It's not all bed of roses outside, you know. And for some people, they feel, well, I'm going to make money and all of that. The greed thing. Benue is very rich. There are so many things you can do as a Benue indigent to earn money. All right, even as a lady. There are a lot of businesses to do, but everyone wants to go to the city. It's just the way you hear people after their secondary school examination, anything it will cost them. They want to go to Abuja, they want to go to Port Harcourt, they want to go to Lagos and all of that. That quest is a problem, and the issue of not developing the country is another problem. We're talking about Cotonou here. Where is Cotonou? After Agility, you're already in Cotonou. Yes. It's a place that I've been to.
That's what bothers me.
Can I tell you something? People living in Idiroko, all right? I still have my people living there till date. People living in Idiroko can trek and enter Cotonou.
You can imagine.
That is Ogun State.
You can imagine.
So I don't even know what they have, what is in Cotonou that you're rushing to Cotonou, or somebody is deceiving you that they are taking you abroad. I don't see Cotonou as abroad, even though it's another country. So we need to be wise, but a lot of people don't have this orientation, and it's part of the problem. Then greed. Please, we are not lazy youths in Nigeria, so don't give people reasons to insult the girl child, you know, to insult the men. We are very industrious people in Nigeria, so we shouldn't allow this happen. But first of all, this situation, it has happened. We want NAPTIP to follow it to the end of it. Let's see why all of this is happening. Who is behind this? How were they able to go? Were their parents aware? If their parents are aware, they should also be meant to face the wrath of the law. okay, whether it's through deception or through 419, whichever way they were taken out of this country. It may not be just Suese. Suese may not be the only, yes, Suese may not be the only one.
Yes.
Somebody in Cotonou have attested to the fact that a lot of them are there suffering. So this is a problem and something needs to be done about it ASAP. Let's at least try as much as possible to help our girl child.
Thank you so much, Ramsey. You really said a lot. I like when you said orientation. I think they have to orient all of these people, including the girls and their parents, because sometimes I don't know why a parent would leave their children to be trafficked or let them be trafficked, because I don't know what exactly they promised these people. They're going to bring millions of naira. What exactly? Just during the weekend, I was going through my phone again on social media. I saw a young lady in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. She's from Calabar, and she was trafficked too, and that's how she died just on Sunday morning. So bad. A lot of these girls will just waste their lives and those women, those people that traffic them, because I believe these are women, always coming as aunties, they always come as maybe someone who has been successful doing it, and they come pick young girls and promise them good life out there. Please, NAPTIP also has to do a lot of jobs, going to these villages, going to these creeks, these communities, and making sure that they arrest these people, they can be arrested. So NAPTIP, please wake up again. I know NAPTIP is doing a very good job when it comes to trafficking and all of this, but please wake up again, because it's becoming too much again in Nigeria. All right, thank you once again, Ramsey, for your contribution to today's topic. And yes, this is where we close the curtains for today. We're leaving in the hands of Ramsey and Jumai as they usher us into the discussion section of Global Morning. So stay with us. My name is Ogochukwu. Good morning once again, Nigerians and viewers around the world. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG. Erigim Shoe Factory excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear. All crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Erigim Shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091-264-53399 or 070-3009-3944 or 080-6573-8374 or call 081-3167-3668. Email info@erogim.com.
Thank you, everyone. It's now time for us to get into the first conversation for today as we look at national development, which is paramount. As a matter of fact, we'll be looking at national development, driving national growth through the blue economy today. And it's something that is worth talking about, and a lot of Nigerians feel, well, there should be development from all angles. And we have a blue economy strategist joining us on the program today, and of course in the person of Olushola Gegele, and of course he is the CEO of Premium Blue Economy Innovation and Investments Limited. It's good to have you join us, Olushola.
Pleasant morning. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much for joining us on the program today. And of course, we are excited. All right. Put on your video, please. Gegele, put on your video. Switch on to video so we can see you. Then the conversation will be very important. As a strategist, blue economy strategist, we know we have a lot to unbundle today because a lot of Nigerians have actually looked forward to the blue economy when the ministry actually come up after the separation, giving them their own ministry. We know that a lot has been unfolded in recent times, but then Nigerians are still asking questions about what happens in our ports, and from what happens in our port, from the shipment, the delays that we have, and how it's affecting us, and the level we are globally right now as it has to do with the blue economy is encouraging. We've had a lot of big time maritime experts talk to us about that. We are having you today so we could also talk about it. And one of the essays of this blue economy is to ensure that there is national development. Every of the ministry, Nigerians are expecting something great from these various ministries, but this administration has done so much, and we know that very soon the economy is going to pick up and Nigerians will feel the impact as it has to do with national development. So it's not a mistake that we have someone who is going to be talking to us about the blue economy today, national development, which is very important. And he is a blue economy strategist, so it's a round peg in a round hole. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll get into the conversation in full.
I don't know, can you see my video?
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform. Thank you, everyone. The conversation is so intensive. We already have Olushola join us right on the program as we look at national development and the blue economy this morning. Good morning, Olushola. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now we are looking at a very, very wonderful topic that is we're looking at the blue economy. All right, and of course, what do you think about Nigeria's blue economy at the moment? What is the state?
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, viewer. Good morning, all. Can you hear me, please? Sorry, confirm if you can hear me, please.
Can hear you. Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So, firstly, I think we need to first define what is blue economy and define what is green economy. It's very important for us to understand how green economy has been defined and what blue economy is all about. So, blue economy for Nigeria, it's about using what is locally available to create national prosperity. And we have to look beyond the oceans and look at what are the opportunities that the ocean has for us as a country. So we look at the inland water transportations, we need at the biotechnology, we look at the tourisms in Nigeria, we need to look at ship logistics and a kind of all other opportunities that we have on our waterway. But we can't practice blue economy if you have a polluted oceans. So we actually need to focus more on one of the basic opportunity is waste transformations. So we have to believe that there's nothing called waste in the blue economy. Feedback loop, it's an opportunity whereby we have to understand systemic thinking in what we have to realize that one waste from one industry, it's a raw material for another industry. So this is very important in creating prosperity and creating jobs under the blue economy as defined by Professor Gunther Paulin, which happens to be the founder of the blue economy. And opportunities for Nigeria in terms of that, it's how do we utilize our waste not to get into our oceans. There could be different type of waste. You know, you have the plastic waste, we have the oil spillage on our water. So for you to practice blue economy, how do we utilize all these problems that we see as an opportunity? So how do we create jobs? How do we innovate? Then when you innovate and produce products from the plastics that end up in our ocean or that end up in our landfill, that is the only way we can be talking about the blue economy for national development. So I give you a typical example. My company is the only one in Africa that has scaled on large scale on plastic pyrolysis. We are producing 5 tons, which is this small, of plastic processing daily into ultra low sulfur diesel. And the diesel is being consumed by maritime vessels, is being consumed by rice mill for rice boiling and kind of others. So we need more people to realize that plastic, it's a new business on itself, not the PET bottle that we see that they're recycling. But how do we upcycle plastics? It's one of the biggest way that we should look at in discussing about blue economy. It has become a global problem. That's one angle. I'll give you a typical example again when you look at it from marine transportations. We are not building ship in Nigeria at the moment. And the little company that are reviving the ships back in Nigeria are focusing on the metal. And the world is moving away from metal gradually for boats and for ferry into glass fiber. So I tell you another thing in terms of building ships in Nigeria, it's in a non-linear thinking way. We don't have fiber, but we have fiber. What did I mean by we don't have fiber? We don't have the raw material we don't have the finished good for fiber we import from China. But if we want to consume that using what we have locally, we have to focus on silica sand that we have in Lagos and we have in Ondo State to convert it into glass fiber. And we can talk to the NMPC to design resin for us. And this is using what you have locally. When we have glass fiber, we can start building our own ferry for transportation and for prosperity in our inland water transportation. You know, Nigeria has 10,000 inland water transportations, which are navigable. How do we use opportunity on this to reduce what we put on the road for us to focus more on the water you know during the colonial era, they transport most of goods and stuff from through the water. They are connected. There are a lot of jetty and ports in most of the southern part of Nigeria. They are not functioning again. We are looking at it from the depths. That okay, the inland water is not depth enough, but we can build a low ferry which is less than 2 meter depth and can be navigable along our inland water transportation. This leads to a lot of other prosperity when you look into that. Then another angle we need to look is when the water is so good, we should focus more on marine biotechnology, which is another good area that we can focus on in terms of opportunities on the blue economy angle that create a lot of opportunities for Nigeria. So seaweed, it's a great opportunity that major coastal area can start focusing on how do we harness seaweed as a gold mine as against oil, and what are the benefits of seaweed, biostimulations in terms of agro processing and agricultural produce. The seaweed stimulants yield more productive in terms of whatever we produce, and I think those are great opportunities that we can look on in terms of national prosperity. Thank you.
Shola, I just want to ask a question. I know you've said a lot when it comes to blue economy and potentials. Looking at it critically now, what policies or measures are needed to unlock the full potential of the blue economy for national development in Nigeria?
Thank you. That's a good question, and I think Nigeria has a national policy at the moment that it's all over. I can share that as a soft copy with you. So all community needs to be carried along. We don't need to focus on a top-down approach. It has to be bottom-up approach. How do we use what we have locally to create economic prosperity? I'll give you a typical example. Rice productions in the southwest, supposed to be more better than what we produce in the northern parts. And you realize that one of the challenges in terms of policy is we copy outside. We don't focus on what we have locally here. And until we realize that the indigenous way of doing things, it's what we need to improve on. So a great policy that we should focus on is how do we develop our own indigenous solutions to outcompete whatever any other person is bringing from outside. That's what even one of the critical aims of the blue economy. It's about resilience. It's about tolerating what we have locally. Develop more innovative angle in terms of that. So I believe government needs to focus more on sustainability. And when you talk about sustainability, you should focus more on regenerative. The world is even moving away from the word sustainability. So Nigeria should borrow more from regenerative. And regenerative is talking about systemic thinking, using what is locally available to create multiple values. It's what we should be focusing on. So a typical example is the seaweed I mentioned earlier on. How not us realize that seaweed can give us more than 7 to 10 yield in the rice cultivations. Nigeria use Pharaoh 44, and we do just only less than 3 tons of rice productions every year on 1 hectare of land. When you move something from the Niger Delta, which is the seaweed that can grow better there, it gives you more yield on the rice production. So this is the blue economy. But water needs to be pure. When the water is clean, you get more opportunity from the water. But if it's not clean, so the policy of the government needs to focus more even on the educational angle. We have to unlearn and relearn to understand largely most of what we throw away are another benefit for nature. And nature doesn't see anything as waste. Nature sees majority of things as abundance. And they believe, okay, we should focus more on creating more of prosperity with what we have locally. Thank you.
I know with what you've said. Now, how can these government policies attract local and foreign investments in order to, enhance blue economy right here in Nigeria? Because with what you've said and all the examples you've given, like, we are not focused on the blue economy, we are more focused on the green economy instead. So how can this attraction bring in local and foreign investors to come put hands together? Because with what you've highlighted, we can actually have abundant resources when it comes to the blue economy as we speak. It's just that Nigeria, are we actually ready, or our focus is tilted somewhere else for more revenue when it comes to national development and sustainability?
Thank you. So I agree with you. We are actually not ready. We are not doing the blue economy right now. So first and foremost is data farming. We need to acquire a lot of data. We don't have data on blue economy. When you ask anybody, blue economy, it's of different layer. But the smallest layer is even understand. The only thing we do in the blue economy is focusing on the marine. And when I said the marine, it's just only on the boats. MPA and the MASA, it's just only what we call the blue economy. The inland waterway are not fully utilized into what NIWA is supposed to be doing. So the first stage to start first is data. When you ask to give you data of what is on data, the only thing they can tell you is fish. And just recently moved fishery department from Ministry of Agriculture to Ministry of Blue Economy. And fishery alone is not. There are a lot of high impact projects that we can start doing that are not really comparable at what we are actually doing in the blue economy angle. So first and first is that we have to understand what are the portfolio of opportunity when you want to talk to investors and when you want to get people involved. We don't have data on blue economy. There are different type of data you need to look at when you're practicing blue economy as a country. So until we understand that, and recently I know a chief hydrographer of Nigeria engaged with Professor Gunther Pauling, and they're actually looking at how do we map out our water, both the inland water and the coastal water and the EEZ. The Nigeria EEZ, great opportunity for us. When the only thing they can talk about in Nigeria EEZ, when you're looking at data, it's we have a burden of fish that they take away from our water, they package it and they sell it back to us here, which is an illegal fishery. But there are some other mineral resources beneath our water. I'll give you a typical example of the one I always tell people. There is a marine creature called horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crabs grows in a salty and fresh water. Horseshoe crabs has a blue blood. This is what has been confirmed using as a vaccine all over the world. Do we know where it sits in our water? Per 4 liters of it is sold for $60,000. 4 liters of that marine crab. Where do we have it? What are the other crabs or what are the other fishes that has economic value of high impact value that we have on our water? Do we know where they are? How do we do marine coastal protections for our own marine creature? We actually don't know about all these things. So when you talk about the technology, sea drones, Nigeria needs sea drones to map up data in terms of that. We are not doing that yet. So if oceanography with the so-called Nigeria Hydrographic Agency works together with NIMASA and Inland Waterway to actually design a survey of what are the things we want to focus on to give us our impact of the blue economy. This is one angle that investors will be key into. Shipbuilding, it's another angle. We need to make sure we do our activities to the inland transportations. We are not utilizing our inland water. That angle needs to be focused on. Then we actually need to focus more on using what is in every community that have this coastal way. Mobile transportations needs to reduce when we have these oceans. And I tell you a fact, when you have coastal waters, renewable energy, it's a game changer. You can generate water from hydrogen. You can generate hydrogen from water. And when we have hydrogen, it's just a fuel cell technology, whereby there's not a rocket science. Many Asian countries are having hydrogen of 5 megawatts in a small community, and industry comes here. When industry comes to those community, jobs comes here. When jobs comes to those community, communication comes here. When communication comes to those community, other development comes here. So this is how we have to escalate in terms of cascading opportunity. And we can unfold a lot of opportunity in blue economy with our water if we preserve the water and use it the way it's meant to be used. And I think there's so much opportunities in the blue economy. There are many new initiatives that Nigeria needs to unlock when you talk about the blue economy, which are a typical example, AM communication. You know, there's FM and there is AM. Recently, many communities that there is no connectivities that have AM network, not even FM, are means of communication now. India is doing it using AM technology to communicate. This is using what you have locally to create abundant opportunity. Many rural communities in Taiwan are communicating through AM. The same AM network radio, you know, people are using to communicate now. These are using what you have locally. So we have to understand what are the ways of doing new things that we are actually not been doing before, and how do we unlock new opportunities. AI is here that can unlock a new opportunity once we have the data. But data first is lacking in Nigeria blue economy. When you have abundance of data, you create more new businesses and new opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've spoken well. I wanted asking questions in the area of job creation from the blue economy and all of that. But then while you were speaking, I got a feel of some of the things that could be possible opportunities in the blue economy. Now, let me ask, how important is collaboration between government, the private sector, and developing partners in advancing the blue economy project in Nigeria?
Yeah, so, you know, the ministry is still at the early stage. They just identify some opportunity, but the sole sad reality about it, it's major people in the marine are not involved. It's KPMG that actually designed Nigerian policy in terms of the blue economy, which they left a lot of opportunities out. It's just a bag it out. So for us, like I explained to you, one way that we can see collaborations, it's about carrying the community and carrying the right people that understand the blue economy along, not just the politicians that we see that they do a lot of seminar and we just clap and go. We won't achieve it. I used to go to the ministry to work closely with the Honorable Minister before, but I realized that implementation is not being done in the ministry. We actually need to do the jobs at the ground here. 2 months ago, I invited the founder of the blue economy to Nigeria, and what he's trying to tell us is we have to go into the rural community and start doing projects. Leave the government alone. When you implement and government see opportunities there, they will come around and we can design a policy that carries along those community along. And I think collaboration in terms of that has to be a non-linear understanding. A linear understanding is we focus on, oh, this is my own jurisdiction. No, like the example I gave to you, how do you expect Akwa Ibom Cross River to be in partnership with the northern states in rice cultivation, and we can supply you the seaweed that we produce, the biostimulant of the seaweed? It's actually going as a additional to fertilizer to yield more in those angles. So these are the kind of collaborations, what we never thought is possible. Because someone from the Niger Delta will look at it that, what am I doing? What business am I doing with someone in the north? But you have abundance. It's just all about, I'm going there for this normal trade. What did I need to use my water for? To give me new opportunity that I can sell to other parts of the country. These are the kind of collaborations that we need to look at. What are the opportunities that we have in different communities that we can unlock and sell nationwide and sell globally? So these are the kind of collaborations that I think is lacking in Nigeria at the moment. So which I think the first approach is data collections of what are the portfolio of raw materials that we have in Nigeria, and which state, which community has it more, not the paper one, but the real physical projects that we can do in the community. And these are the way collaborations more can create new opportunities and prosperity for the country called Nigeria. And I think I always like the word prosperity whenever I'm talking about blue economy, because nature has a lot of abundance for us. And when we have abundance, I don't think anybody should leave Nigeria if we actually understand the major opportunities in the blue economy. Developing countries have futures of the blue economy because most of our water are not being polluted the way it's being done in some developed country like China, that, you know, in terms of industrialization, they pollute a lot of water. Indonesia is where they bring paper from. And, you know, largely most of the paper production has to go through chemical wash and it kills their fishes. But us for here, I think it's just oil pollution, that if we can control the oil pollution in the Niger Delta, Lagos Water EEZ is still a very good angle for us to unlock new opportunities and new collaboration with developing partner. But data first, we need data mining, not just anyhow data that we see on the internet. We need to design our own data, and that is how we have to create prosperity. And if you don't have a data, there's no way we can practice blue economy. We must first understand that government needs to work with the rural community. It needs to work with coastal area for them to design what are the comparative advantage that we have compared to all other countries, which we actually don't know right now. It's just only what they tell us. If we have to partner with companies that have the drones or that have the equipment to unlock new opportunity under our water, you know, seabeds and the likes, is a global discussion now on how do we harvest or how do we mine what we have under our water for our own national development. So when you talk about $1 trillion, $2 trillion economy, we have to do things in a complex angle because Nigeria's situation is complex and we need complex answer, not just a straightforward answer. For us to achieve the $1 trillion economy, it's possible by 2035 if we do at 9% fold, and which I think blue economy can give us nothing less than $300 to $500 billion economy, where if we unlock what's data in the blue economy it's all about. Thank you.
From what you've said so far, you've talked about opportunity for investors, partners, and all of that. Let's step down to national development now, as it has to do with the individual Nigerians. Now, opportunities abound in the blue economy, like you've said, but job creation, what opportunities are there as it has to do with bridging the gap of unemployment in Nigeria, which is a major problem, looking at our ports, looking at our sea and all of that. These are the things that Nigerians would be glad to know. Job opportunities.
Thank you so much for that question. So job opportunities in the blue economy, I'll give you like three, which I will explain deeply to you. One, you look at biotechnology of the blue economy or bioeconomics of the blue economy. So water hyacinths that you actually know, it's a big problem in our water and it affects the navigable waterway. So when you harvest this water hyacinth, you can use water hyacinth to produce mushrooms. Water hyacinth to produce mushrooms. It's a $56 billion global market is mushrooms. So when you harvest water hyacinth and you dry it and you produce mushroom for it for export markets, that's a problem that will make opportunity for. Same water hyacinth, you can use it for creating eco-friendly bags and handcrafts. So these are what Indonesia and most of Asia are selling to Europe as an eco-friendly product. Are we doing that? No. Thirdly, we can use the water hyacinth compost for biogas and for organic manure on our farm. And these are opportunities that we are not talking about. We dedicate a lot of money from the National Assembly every year to clear away this water hyacinth and waste it. So that's one job creations. Secondly, I talk about the seaweed. Seaweed, it grows rapidly in less than every 2 weeks. You can harvest as much as tons of seaweed. Our water can grow a lot of different seaweed. That's what we call 3D sea farming on the water. So majority of people in the Niger Delta know how to swim. So it's easier for people to say, okay, if our water is clean, what can we use our water for? So when you do seaweed, you derive many products from seaweed. I just told you about biostimulants. There are a lot of global market for seaweed. So that's another angle. The one that creates more jobs, it's in the shipbuilding and ship transportation on our water. How do we develop new jetty and new terminal? So let's say we want to start building ship. Nigeria just joined Category C of IMO. And Category C is about unlocking water transportations. But we're not doing that. The only even the bigger vessel is only the deep sea ports in Lekki that it comes for. It's only few ships that can come into our Apapa and Tinka. Do we have a small barges that can move from Lagos to Ondo, move to Akwa Ibom, not by the road? The coastal highway can be for something else, but our water transportation needs to unlock. Then we don't need to start building, inviting investors for our national development to bring their own ship or their own barge or their own ferry to be doing inland transportation here. Can we start building it? Absolutely, yes. Is there a technology abundant outside there? Absolutely. There are a lot of technology abundant outside there. So the first technology you need to understand is how do we develop our own local ship with glass fiber? We don't need to import glass fiber from China. We can partner with China to say, okay, we have the abundance of silica sand in Nigeria. Can we use the silica sand to make glass fiber? 100%. When you have glass fiber developed in Nigeria, what do you need? You need our gas. So when you pipe the gas and you can have 24 hours gas to turn our silica sand into glass fiber, then what else do you need? We need epoxy to fix it. Do we have the epoxy? NNPC can design the epoxy for what with their abundant refinery that we have. So once we have that, you develop a different type of mode and we build different type of inland transportation ferry that carry passengers and carry goods. So when you have that within the country, what else again are you looking for? So that means a lot of jobs are coming in different ports and it's become the metro of the sea. The way you see we have different people going to the airport, it's how we're going to see people moving along our waterway. And it's so easy. It's not a rocket science. Many developed countries are using silica sand to build boats around the world. So this is what they use to build airplane. This is what they use to build cars. So it's very light, it's more rugged, it's anti-corrosive, and it's faster. So we can start doing this. So these are ways we can create jobs. You know, the way I explain it now, it's not a linear way, it's a non-linear way of silica sand to make glass fiber. When you Google it, it's possible. And we have it in abundance here. Are we using it? No. Is there opportunity for it? Yes. Are global partner ready for us? Yes. Is our policy tweeted towards that area? No. So these are ways we can develop things from different angle of what we have locally here. And with that, jobs flow, national development comes in place. And before we realize, we outcompete in terms of whatever we are bringing from outside. We will start becoming a nation that global. This, I think, finally, systems in the needs to change the curriculum into system thinking. We actually don't do more of systemic thinking. So final year projects not need to be a solo project or a linear project. It has to be a collaborative project with all other departments to unlock new opportunities. These are ways for national development. And a final angle that I think we should look at is how does Indonesia get from where they were before to $1.3 trillion economy? If Nigeria wants to get to $1.1 trillion economy, Indonesia is the right model that we should look into. 285 or 86 million population, 7.9% poverty rates. Nigeria needs to learn from what Asia are actually doing, and we can develop a lot of new opportunities with what we have locally for national development. Thank you.
All that you have said, we're talking about long-term sustainability. I know you've spoken a lot when it comes to blue economy, how investors can come in, their inputs they can make. We are more focused on the green economy because we have oil, which can actually stand the test of time, crude and all of that. Can this stand the test of time if well strategized and put in the right position?
Could you repeat the question? Are you talking about the green economy?
We are more focused on the green economy. I said, and you have spoken a lot when it comes to blue economy. We know that the green economy has to do with oil and crude, which can actually stand the test of time because we know. But because of so many challenges surrounding the blue economy, can this actually stand the test of time?
Absolutely. So we have to learn from nature. Nature is in abundance. So the difference between blue economy and green economy, I tell you one, anytime I'm talking about green economy is expensive because everything in green, like the tree, like the forest, like solar panels, they're expensive. It's not meant for everybody. So when you go to supermarkets in developed country and you see an area where they said, this is organic, it's always 5 times expensive, more than what they make with synthetic or fertilizer. So that is the green economy. So green economy is meant for only the rich people. Why the blue economy is in abundance for everybody? Because we learn from nature. So in terms of sustainability, it has been overused and we need to focus on regenerative. Like the way I design myself, I call myself, I'm a regenerative entrepreneur. I look at what is a waste in one industry and how can I create opportunity for that. So I tell you a typical example of the oil that you talk about now. Oil can be sustainable if we add value to oil. You know, oil is what they use to oil.
All right, Olushola, it's unfortunate we can't continue with the conversation because of our time. We need to go into the second conversation. But many thanks for joining us on this topic today, bringing it at least to limelight for Nigerians to know. You are a true blue economy strategist. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the program, Global Morning. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll take a quick break. After this break, we'll return, and it will be time for us to get into the second conversation. 2027 race. Is it getting more intensive, or some oppositions are relaxed already? Is it just going to be a walkway for the ruling party? When we return, we'll look at the preparation of the various parties, oppositions inclusive, as we walk towards the 2027 race. Stay with us.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the Flagship News is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
It's worth it talking about 2027 election race. I call it the 2027 race because it's one time that a lot of people are looking forward to, and it's around the corner. August, just should I be saying, few days from now, we'll get into the campaign proper, and we'll begin to hear promises, manifestos here and there, you know, from these political office holders who want to get into office again. But now, we want to look at, of course, 2027 power race. I call it power race. APC, opposition's realignment, and the battle for Aso Rock. Who is getting into Aso Rock after 2027? That is the big question right now. And we have a politician who is going to be with us on the program today to give an analysis, his perspective to the discussion today. He's also an APC chieftain in the person of Chief Chibuna Wabuike. It's good to have you join us on the program, Chief.
Thank you, Ramsey.
Thank you for being a part
Thank
of the
you,
program.
Dubai. Good morning, Nigerians. It's High Chief Chibuna Wabuike.
Hi, Chief Chibuna Wabuike. Yes, but I called Wabuike very well, right?
Wabuike.
Wabuike.
Yes.
All right. Yes, let's get talking about of the 2027 power race. Is it really a power race?
Well, so long as it is an election, there are contestants. You say it's a power race because each of the contestants is aspiring to grab power. Now, unfortunately for them, there is no vacancy in Aso Rock. The incumbent is there and will be returned, re-elected, because he has done so much very well, has performed very well. If he has not done well, then we'll say, okay, he should be changed. But he has not. He has done very well, and the contestants now, none of them have provided anything better than what he has done. So why aspiring to change the person you cannot provide a credible alternative for?
That statement sounds indicting. When you say there is no vacancy in Aso Rock, that the sitting president is returning, looking at what some Nigerians are saying, it's an accusation, allegedly, that the sitting government is doing everything to render opposition powerless. Don't you think this statement that you have made as an APC chieftain is indicting?
It is absolutely not indicting, but the reality on the ground. There is nothing to suggest the fact that our party, my party, the All Progressives Congress, has a hand in the crisis, bedeviling the opposition parties. Their crises are self-inflicted, born out of greed and selfishness. That is why you see them battling with the problem they are having. My party is busy preparing for the election because we are ready. So, if they put their houses in order and come to the field, let us slug it out. But I assure you, there is no vacancy in Aso Rock.
So why election?
My praise, because he has done very well, and from all the electoral dynamics, points to the fact that he is the candidate to beat. That none of the opposition candidates will meet anything near scoring something high to equal what the votes my president will score. So he is the candidate to beat. He is a performing incumbent who is result-oriented, has delivered what I call democratic cornucopia to Nigerians, and the Nigerians are happy with him and will re-elect him come January 16, 2027.
You know, some opposition parties will say, okay, for as much as you've spoken well, because you're in the APC, you're of course the ruling party, but given the same opportunity, they will deliver much more when it comes to the area of insecurity, unemployment, inflation. Of course, we see the removal of fuel subsidy and all of that, high cost of transportation. If given the same position, they will do much more than, of course, the ruling party. Don't you think it's fair that we should give another person the position to see whether he will do much more like they have spoken?
Talk is cheap. They say they will do much more.
Much more better.
Much more better. But they have not provided a template that will enable them do much more better.
It's a strategy.
I am coming. They say there is the fuel subsidy. Remember, prior to 2023 election, all the major candidates said they were going to remove fuel subsidy. All of them. The three major contestants said they were going to remove fuel subsidy.
With an alternative.
Wait. They are going to remove. First, one of them said it will not be anything longer than the first day he gets into office. He did not put a proviso with an alternative. He said, I am going to remove fuel subsidy. It will not stay a day longer. Those were their statements. Those were part of their campaign promises. And my President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, said he was going to remove fuel subsidy. And when he was elected, sworn in, he removed fuel subsidy. Remember too that the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, has removed fuel subsidy. Now, what my president did was to give effect to the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act. The fuel subsidy was gone. Now, he has provided remedies, to cushion the effects of the, removal of the fuel subsidy. Now, you should expect that when you are restructuring, there are bound to be dislocations, and the dislocations will bring pain. Those were the pains we faced at the beginning. But you believe with me now that the pains have started subsiding. The pains of the removal of the fuel subsidy, the pains of the floating of the naira, so the naira will have its value determined by the market forces. And you see investors trooping because of that. You see our economy growing up, higher and higher. All the major international agencies have rated our economy high. The Bretton Woods agencies, institutions have rated our economy high, growing and growing. Yes, on the macro level. Now, these contestants now saying they would have done better. What have they done? What have they provided to ensure that they would have done better? None of them have provided an alternative, even in all their statements. All they have been saying is, give me the opportunity, I will do better. Again, you look at their antecedents. All of them have been in government before. How did they perform while they were in office? All of them have been in government before, at either some national level or at the national level. What did they do that time to, positively transform the lives of Nigerians while they were in office? Nothing. What I'm saying now is that the sitting president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, my president, the president of my party, the presidential candidate of my party, has done so much for Nigerians, have made so much provisions to cushion the effects of these structural reforms. Nigerians should tell themselves the truth. Is he, Mr. President, that is the best person causing the problem, or Nigerians themselves? How? I want to give you an instance. After removal of fuel subsidy, government made provision for CNG buses. CNG was an alternative to petroleum.
Yes.
Now, and CNG is cheaper. The determinant of government was that if you cannot afford PMS because the cost will go high, CNG is cheaper. You use this alternative that is cheaper and that will make the transportation cost cheaper. And the government went as far as providing the kits for the conversion kits for CNG at no cost to vehicle owners. They went in, many people converted their vehicles, put them on the road. CNG buses were brought in, distributed, but you know what they are doing? The CNG buses and CNG vehicles now charge the same fare as the petroleum vehicles using petroleum products, PMS. Is it Mr. President that will go to begin to tell them, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? Are they not Nigerians? Government made provisions for you. Either you use this, and when you use this is the cost. If you use this one, this is the cost. And you choose the cheaper one. Still, you will now come to exploit Nigerians. It is not the president you should blame. You should blame the mentality of Nigerians. They are exploitative by nature. I don't see any reason why someone driving a CNG vehicle in transportation should charge the same amount with somebody using PMS to power his vehicle or AGO. But look at what they are doing. Now, let me give you the stats of the mentality of Nigerians. Before the America-Israeli-Iran war, we were buying PMS, petroleum, at about 900 or thereabout per liter. When the war started, everybody saw what happened. The Strait of Hormuz or whatever was closed, and then transportation, seafaring of petroleum product became a problem. The cost of crude skyrocketed in the international market, which will have also, an effect on the prices of refined petroleum products. We understood. They increased their prices. When the war, there was a ceasefire, and Strait of Hormuz was, opened. They opened for there to be free selling of vessels. Crude prices in the international market came down to about $70. Remember, during the time of that war, it was about $100 and $110 per barrel. They increased their prices to $1,000, up to $1,005. We understood. Now, when the price came down to about $70 per barrel, why did they not bring back down their prices? They refused to bring down their prices. So who's responsible for it? It is the marketers. The marketers who regulate the markets. Exactly. We are operating a deregulated petroleum industry. So it is deregulated. Should the government keep quiet for her? Government called them and said, why are you exploiting Nigerians? The government will not go to their station to shut it. Government called them, spoke to them, why are you exploiting Nigerians? When this price increased in international market, the crude prices went high. We understood you increase your price so you recover your cost and make profit. Now that the thing has gone down, why can't you bring down the prices? They began to threaten government. If the government want to enforce the prices, they will shut down their stations. So who is more powerful, the marketers or the government? If government moves against them at that time, they shut down their stations. Nigerians will suffer. They'll start blaming government. Government began to still appeal to them, appeal to their consciences. That is the best government can do, to appeal to them, to see the reasons to make things cheaper and easier for Nigerians. Government has done its own. Contribute to your quota to make things better for Nigerians. The exploitative tendency of Nigerians came to play. I do give an instance again. You go to the market, one market here, let's say you go to market in maybe a car or so, you get a tuber of yam, 2,000 naira. You come to Taco, that same tuber of yam, you get it for 5,000 naira. Why? What's the distance? What's the transport cost that you say it is cost of transportation? Now, let me give you another instance. The exchange rate has stabilized. As of today, even if in parallel markets, about 1,400 or thereabout to $1. But do you know that importers still, do their projections at $1,800? They still do their projections at $1,800. Why? Exploiting Nigerians. When you go to market, the cost of goods and services are high. They'll say it's government. It is not government. Government has done a lot to cushion the effect of these structural reforms, but the exploitative tendency of Nigerians has refused to abate.
Not Nigerians, some Nigerians. Some
Nigerians have refused to abate. That is the problem we are facing, not the government. So like I was saying, government has done so much. Those contesting to come and unseat my president have not provided any credible alternative. My president will continue to consolidate on what he has started so that we will enjoy the full benefit of the structural reform. Nigeria will be better for it. And we will call Mr. President to thank him.
Let's talk about areas of insecurity now, because we know what is ongoing in the country when it comes to Zamfara. You heard about the abduction of the Federal High Court judge. He was abducted.
I read about it.
4 others killed. And then we heard about the incident that happened in Benue State. We're hearing, we always hear about these issues. What has this administration done in trying to curb this menace of insecurity? What's your take on state policing? Do you think that particular, the state police in general will actually stand the test of time, or will go back and forth on this matter when it comes to funding, when it comes to collaboration, when it comes to all of these things encompass?
I, as High Chief Chibono Bawike, I am an HPC chieftain, and I am a member of Tinubu Support Group and a member of its media team. I thank our leader, Right Honorable James Abiodun Faleke, and our DG, Dr. Omar Tanko Yakesai. We have been at the forefront of promoting and propagating the policies of government and giving Nigerians adequate and appropriate information to ensure that they are well informed. Now we talk about insecurity. Yes, none of us is happy about the security situation. Because if you consider the humongous budget government has made for defense and security, you begin to wonder, why has insecurity continued unabated? Then you consider the equipment that government has procured for the military to do their job. You look at the recruitment, everything that they need to do their work, government has provided for them. In fact, it is on record that no government from independence till date has made the budgetary provision for defense and security like the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In 2026 budget alone, about 5.4 trillion naira, the highest. And they just less than a month ago provided them additional 500 billion naira. And the government has gone ahead to procure equipment for them, the hardware, the arms and ammunition, and everything they need to work to discharge their duties. It is unfortunate that some unscrupulous elements in the society, both in the military, are sabotaging the efforts of the government. They have made this insecurity situation, they have converted it to be a business concern. That is why you see a lot of sabotage. And I was in a program in one of the sessions and I did ask, how can the insurgents, the terrorists, attack a military base, overrun a military base, where you have armored personnel carriers, you have men, trained men, and arms and ammunition to man those armored personnel carriers? We will not be able to withstand the terrorists. They will overrun the base, destroy the equipment. If there was no insider sabotaging the effort of that base, it won't happen. How can terrorists have access to go and kill a brigadier general or a major general? What of his men that are supposed to be with him? Where did they go to? Where were they? You can't just have access to a major general to kill him or a brigadier general. He has men that are trained to be with him. Where were they? So it boils down to sabotage. There is internal sabotage. We have also seen severally when the military parade, some of their personnel, they've arrested, who were, sabotaging their efforts, carrying military equipment, arms and ammunition to sell to the terrorists. Those are the things that they are contending with. If we remove the internal sabotage, you will see that we will overrun these people with the twinkle of an eye. Then another issue now becomes that the communities, those terrorists, they have families, they have parents, they come from villages and localities. Thank you very much. People know them, but people do not volunteer information. They are afraid. Of course. Because of the same sabotage we are talking about. You pass information, you don't know whether the person you are giving the information is an informant to the terrorists. They'll come after you. So until there is a confidence building between the military and the law enforcement agencies and Nigerians, so that when you keep passing information, you will not be afraid that they will come after you. It will go a long way in mitigating what the situation. Then the state police, it is a laudable program of government and policy of government. I salute the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for having the political will to go ahead to push for the establishment of the state police. And I salute the members of the National Assembly for also being patriotic enough to consider and pass the bill for the establishment of the state police. The fear we had, I also had the fears ab initio that some governors will use it for their selfish well-being and use it against their political opponents or their critics. But there have been provisions in the act, in the bill. Yes. And it has not been signed. When it is signed, it becomes an act. There are provisions in the bill that serves as a buffer, that governors will not be able to do that. But I also appeal to members of the National Assembly to go a step further, to make a provision in the bill that should any governor abuse any act in this, go ahead, because some of them will damn the consequences and use the state police to deal with their own borders and critics.
Exactly.
So should there be such case, let there be provision in the act that so and so will be done to that governor, though he has immunity, but so and so should be done to him, whether either in office or out of office, so that it will serve as a deterrent to some would-be governors who want to abuse that this laudable policy and program of Mr. President and the National Assembly for the good of Nigerians. State police is very good because the personnel will be from localities.
Very important.
They know their localities. They know everybody. So if they are the ones to police their areas, it will go a long way in nipping in the bud, any act of criminality, be it insurgency, kidnapping, terrorism, and what have you. And I appeal that they should be well funded, which provision has made as well in the bill for them to be well funded, so that they will not be tied to the processing of the governor. If the governor is the one to provide their funding, there will be a problem. So the bill has insulated them from funding. Their funding will be from it will be a first line charge. Their funding, so that no governor will have. Except you want to assist them, like we see governors assisting police in their states. You want to assist them, that is welcome, but not for them to depend on the governor to provide their funding.
All right, High Chief, let me take you back a little bit from where you said there is no vacancy in Aso Rock. I want to speak on behalf of the Nigerian electorate. There is this belief by Nigerians, which we are trying to correct, that their votes don't count. And that statement you made have an implication, more so that APC is the ruling party and now in power. The issue of incumbency returning, all right, is in the head of a lot of Nigerians, and that has resulted to voter apathy. Just August, our campaign is around the corner. We are going to hear a lot of manifesto again, which at the end of the day, you don't see a lot of them coming to pass, which also contributed to the fact that some Nigerians feel their votes don't count. How can you relate Nigerians' perspective at the electorate, their perspective, and of course, come 2027, as it has to do with voting? Because some will say, well, if APC have said there is no vacancy in Aso Rock, what do we go to vote for? Our votes wouldn't count. An average Nigerian may be thinking that direction. How can you correct this impression?
Thank you very much, Ramsey. Votes count. Our votes count. That is why you see elections are conducted. That there is voter apathy does not translate to votes not counting. There are some places you go to on the day of election, they don't go out to vote. They'll be playing football or doing other things. You appeal to them to go and cast their votes. They will not. Tomorrow, those are the people that will come and tell you the election was rigged. They did not participate in the election. They had opportunity to participate and make a change, but they couldn't. They did not. And they will be the vocal minority who have access to media will be shouting election whether it was rigged or something of that nature. Our votes count. You don't rig an election where you are not popular. You can only rig where you are popular. So, because our votes count, that is why we appeal to the electorates. We bring out our programs and policies and tell the electorates, sell our programs and policies to the electorates to convince them to vote for us. And the Nigerian masses appreciate what my president has done in aviation, in education, in agriculture, in health, just name it, and every other sector. Mr. President has embarked on integrated development of Nigeria. Is it our infrastructure? Obtaining infrastructural projects going on everywhere in Nigeria. Opening geo-economic corridors. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria before. You see it going everywhere. You look at the social safety nets. Mr. President has made a lot of provision for social interventions to cushion the effect of the structural reforms. The problem is that many Nigerians who are beneficiaries of these social safety provisions do not talk. I give you an instance. The National Social Investment Program Agency, NCIPA, that is in charge of the transferring of trader money and other palliatives, have sent so much money to millions of Nigerians. They have the register. They have the details of the beneficiaries.
Is there a monitoring committee?
I'm coming. They have the details of direction. This is the way to go. What direction? This is the way to go. Walk in it. I will follow that person. Than the person that is coming to say, I will create this path. When we follow this path, it will be okay. No. Let that person that has provided direction, this is the way, walk in it. Like the Bible even says, this is the way, walk in it. Don't go to the left, don't go to the right, walk in it. Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has provided that path to Nigeria's renaissance, economically and otherwise. That is why I say it is renewed hope. To renew the hope of Nigerians in government and governance and in the deliverance of democratic goodies to Nigerians. He has done it so much. I will follow him, and I implore Nigerians to follow Mr. President. Vote him back to consolidate on the good work he has done for
Just
the
a follow-up question to what you've said. You know, we had a guest here last week. For as much as the president has done so much, like you relate to us now, a lot of Nigerians have benefited. But how come there are so many policies out there that is beneficial for the common man, common Nigerian? And most people will tell you they are unaware. What is the lacuna, or why is there that vacuum there in the first place?
Yes,
you mentioned a lot.
Thank you. I put this question should be put at the doorstep of the information managers of the government, and again the ministries and the agencies. They should sensitize Nigerians, publicize their operations, what they have done for Nigerians. Let Nigerians know what Mr. President has done. Because people are not, good information is not put out in the public. People do not know.
Exactly.
But a lot has been done. So I call upon the information managers of Mr. President and those at the Ministry of Information and National Orientation to do more. Yes, they have been doing their best, but let them do more in sensitizing Nigerians and informing Nigerians of the programs and policies of Mr. President that has direct bearing, positive bearing on the lives of Nigerians. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has touched the lives of Nigerians in many positive ways. We will return him to consolidate on the good work he has done.
Yeah, let's talk about returning. I want to hold you to a statement you made while you were answering my first question. You said you can only rig election where you are popular. Yeah. Does that mean APC is a rigger of election?
No. I am a politician. We know that some politicians rig election.
So you know how you people rig election?
No, I don't rig election, but I know that some politicians rig election, and they do it where they are popular. But again, when you come to what we are doing, when you are winning in a landslide, you are winning a majority vote, you don't have any reason to rig. You go ahead, except when you are popular and someone wants to come and put sand in your garden, you will not tell the person, no, it is not. Here is my zone, don't come here.
My terrain.
You get me? I like to be as factual and pragmatic as possible. We will conduct a free and fair election, and my president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will win fair and square with landslide.
Let's go back to the forthcoming campaign. There is one campaign that a lot of Nigerians are holding your president to that he made in 2023. If I don't restore power, if every Nigerians don't have power sufficiently, don't vote for me in 2027. So what's the state of power in
Mr.
Nigeria?
President has restored power. He did not say, if I don't restore power to all Nigerians. You see, if I don't give you power. Now, let us understand that statement in its context. We have the Electricity Act that, domiciled provision of electricity in the hands of the federal government. Now, it may be cumbersome. Now, if I am to give you power, by any means I made it available, I have given you power. Now, what Mr. President did, he has studied that, so no, let us decentralize the provision of electricity. Let us amend this Electricity Act to give power to states to generate and distribute power and determine their cost. If I have done that for you, have I not given you power? Mr. President has done that. It is our governors we should hold accountable. Many governors have caved into it, set up their own electricity generation and distribution companies, and are generating electricity and distributing to members of their states. And the people are enjoying electricity. Who made the provision? Mr. President. He has fulfilled that promise.
Do you feel that most governors, because Mr. President has done a lot that you've mentioned and we've all seen, most governors are not really in support and are not really coming out to talk about the renewed hope agenda for the common man?
Mr. President has had cause to upbraid the governors many times. That because it is the grassroots, it's from the grassroots is where you have a problem. And those grassroots, the people that are supposed to benefit that's the micro ladder, to benefit from the programs and policies of government. And the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has provided more than enough money, enough funds to state governors to develop their states, so that their states, the subnationals, will feel the positive impact of his policies and programs. But unfortunately, most of the governors are not doing that. If the governors are providing good governance in their states, providing the dividends of democracy, as we call it, in their states, you provide infrastructure, provide health services, provide light and other things, water. People are not asking for much. Give them road, give them electricity, good school. In my place now, for instance, there's no school in my place. I come from a place in Oguta local government called Agua. We are the most populous community clan in Oguta local government. We have 3 electoral wards. We have 6 autonomous communities. We have 10 towns. We are the second most populous clan in Imo State. But as I talk to you, there is no road to my place. The schools are dilapidated. There is no government presence in my place. So now that election is coming, I keep telling my members of my party, how do we go to campaign to my people? What will we use to campaign to them? Nothing. Then you come to the Raja Ohadiegwema and the Oguta local governments, the 2 major oil producing local governments in Imo State. There is no government presence in those areas. All right. Well, so how do you now come please? How do you now come to the people to campaign? Provide good governance. That is the answer to voter apathy. That is non-performance on the part of the ruling government? No, not on the ruling government. On the government that failed to replicate the programs and policies of Mr. President. You are not holding the governor accountable. We hold the governors accountable. We have been speaking. We have been talking to them. Do the right thing. Provide good governance. That is the answer to voter apathy, and that is the answer to criticism. All right. Thank you very much, High Chief Chibuna Waboike. Thank you very much for being part of the conversation today. 2027 power race, APC opposition, realignment, and of course the battle for Aso Rock. Even though High Chief have said there is no vacancy in Aso Rock, I don't know what Nigerians are thinking back home. You can drop your comment for us on all our social media platforms at Global TV NG for more reaction. We will have you again, because the conversation, I wanted to ask so many questions, there's no time right now, but we'll have you again. We'll invite you again. Thank you everyone for being part of the conversation. My name is Ramsey Okagbo, and all our guests' opinion is entirely theirs and not that of Global Television. Thanks for joining us this morning.
And thank you so much for being a part of the program, and of course High Chief Ubawike for being a part of Global Morning and driving your wheels of knowledge on this topic. I am Jumai Manson. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nigerians. Thank you.